crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 6 of my Giving Gifts workshop. Today you're going to learn how to use the Stampin Spritzer. If you're following along and you have one of my kits and you're one of my US customers, then you can actually take out your spritzer and just follow along with me. Otherwise, these are on sale, or not on sale, but these are very good price. They're only a few dollars and you get 2 in a pack. I've emptied out my spritzer and I want to show you from start to finish how to spritz boxes. Also, some items that came in your kit are these different types of boxes, and I want to give you tips and tricks for doing the different spritzing on them. So some of you may have got these a little bit later. They're on their way. This is called a mini paper pumpkin box. Let's put that off to the side. So it looks like our paper pumpkin boxes, but it's mini. Okay, this is a mini pizza box. It's retired, but I put one in each of your kits. Okay, and if you at home, follow along with whichever materials you have, as I always say. This is a Kraft treat box. Okay, that didn't really work out for my winter projects. But it really, my husband said, why don't you do a Halloween or fall project? So I did a fall project with that one. Okay, this is me comparing why you'd want to spritz. So let's start out with why would you want to even do this technique? Now it doesn't look bad just having a box and you just pop it open and decorate it with some designer series paper. We've done that many times on my channel. Well, if you compare that though to the Spritz box, look at the different dimension that you're adding to this box. So here's one that's spritzed and dried. So you can just, it might look like snow. You might want to get closer and make it look solid, covered. Maybe you're doing a baby shower and you have certain colors and you want to get close and color the whole box, pink or blue or something. Or in this case, I'm kind of going for the snow look. So I kind of put my spritzer far away. So that's why you'd want to do it. It's just a really fun technique. And it just gives extra texture and dimension to your projects. So you want to, of course, use not the food safe side, right? Not that side. You're going to, of course, spritz on this side. And you're going to use alcohol. Not that you can't use water, but water runs more. And these are already water-based inks. So if you use more water and there's already water in the ink, then it's just it doesn't dry very easily and it kind of smears. So if you use alcohol, it'll dry quicker. So that's what we're going to do. Start to finish, I'm going to show you how to do this with colors. And I'm going to also show you my experiment. I don't want to say gone awry because I fixed it. But I think I did one in Pool Party first. Wasn't really feeling it. So now what I'm going for is a mixture of Pool Party and Balmy Blue. To make the Balmy Blue not as dark, but to make the Pool Party not as light. So these are the 2 reinkers I've chose to use. So I'm going to use mainly Balmy Blue. So I'm going to use 10 drops of Balmy Blue to only 2 drops of Pool Party. And that's after experimenting kind of the other way around. I'm going to go for that. Now, why do I have a Halloween tablecloth? Save your old tablecloths. You can turn them inside out. Line your sink with them. That's why it's just protecting my sink. So that's what I'm using to kind of protect once we start spritzing. So you're going to take your spritzer and I'm going to fill it about, let's see, 2/3. If you do it about 2/3, or even like up to this, above the Stampin' Up. It's not really 2/3. It's just really above. Just do it above the Stampin' Up logo. It's more like a half. Let's just say half. If you do it about a half, then you can spritz a couple boxes out with the same spritzer. Oops, I'm dripping it onto them. I could use an eyedropper, right? I don't know where my eyedroppers are. So I'm going right above the Stampin' Up logo, and then I can spritz a couple boxes with the same spritzer. Okay, so I'm rubbing alcohol. I know someone's going to ask me, what % alcohol? Here, you get it at any drugstore or whatever, right? 70% isopropyl alcohol. First aid disinfectant. And I just recently used Cajun Craze in here. So I am going to take this and spray it in my sink to make sure there's no Cajun Craze left in here. Because the last thing we need is some like orange stuff going on our nice winter boxes. So to get rid of any color from before, you're going to just spray it to get rid of any color from before. All right, now, see, just using that, it pumped out a little bit. So we need to add a little bit more. Because even just a few sprays. And I'm only just doing it up to the logo just so you know where I filled it up to. All right, now you're going to take your Balmy Blue, and we're going to put 10 drops of Balmy Blue into here. Of course, you can put as much as you want, as dark as you want it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 drops of balmy blue. If you end up with a drop on there that you need to add, just add it. Doesn't matter. But I can't get it off there. Sometimes it'll just drip in there, the last drop. If not, don't just kind of rub it off so that's, you know, don't waste the ink, right? Now we're going to put the lid on that one, and we're going to do, I thought this was a little bit dark, so I wanted to make it a little friendlier. I'm going to call it friendlier just by adding a little bit of Pool Party. Hey, Katie, thank you for your comment. I'm glad you love this series. Thank you very much. I'll check out all your comments in a few minutes after well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows how much ink's going to be all over my hands. 1, 2. I might be able to see your comments as they pop up. See, that was just a little bit of a third drop because it's getting it off the dropper. So say 10 to 2. 10 parts, which would be really 5 to 1, right? 10 to 2 is still 5 to 1. But 10 drops of balmy blue. Now we're going to shake it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Cool color. Now we're going to shake it up. Shake it up, baby, now. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to spray it into my sink, okay? Just to get it to come through. Because I don't want there's alcohol in the chamber right now. Just plain alcohol. And I just want to, okay, it came out. So now it's up through my chamber. Okay, now when I spray it, it'll be blue. We're going to now use my little makeshift sink liner here and move this over. Oh, by the way, if you're going to stamp onto these, you want to stamp later. You don't want to stamp now, because if you try to stamp now, then you're going to end up, and then you do your spritzing spray, then you're going to end up with you're going to make your stamps run all over the place. So this is the stamp I'm using, just so you know. I'm going to be adding snowflakes to these boxes when they dry. I did some snowdrops, right? Or these will be kind of snowflakes, little dots. These snowflake little whirl, and I use Murray for the tag. So those are the 3 stamps I use from this set. This is the set we're in this series. Just so you know, we are focusing on the Time of Giving bundle. This is the Time of Giving bundle. We're focusing on this dies, right? Giving Gifts dies, and the Tailor Made Tags dies. So that's what we're focusing on in the series. In every single video, I use at least one of the products from one of the containers, or one of those products. I mean, not containers, one of those packages. I use one of those. All right, so depending on if you want this to be solid blue, solid sort of baby blue, you're going to get real close. But I want it to be sprayed, like shh. So watch how far away I am. Okay, you're going to probably ask me, how far away are you? Okay, let's see. There's another mini pizza box, right? Now let's see. And then the camera is all the way up here. So probably a mini pizza box and a half away from the camera. I don't really know. I don't have a tape measure, but you know, get really far away. I'm putting my spritzer all the way up here. See? And you see how it's still there's still drops in there going, right? It still drops, but it's giving me more of a splatter. So you're always going to get a couple drops that come out. See? Isn't that cool? I'll show you closer what it looks like. But this is what I'm going for. If you go close, you're going to get a solid look to your box. If you go far away, you're going to get that splatter look. So I want the splatter, but I also want sort of this to be blue instead of white. Okay, and I'm just going for it. And then you want to put this on something to dry so it doesn't, like, you know, sort of get warped. Okay, the top is good. This is going to be the front of the box. I like that. That's already good, so I don't want to keep doing that. Let's see if I need any more over here. Yep, a little good for good measure. And on the sides and this little flap. All right, so there we go. I'm done with that. And I can spritz one more box with as much as in here. So I'll show you what we got. Here's what we got. So let's compare that to the one from earlier. I think the other one's kind of more blue. Yeah, no, they're both kind of, this is the one I did earlier that's dry, and I just put this to dry. I just put something flat on top of it to dry. Okay, so we can actually stamp onto that one because it's dry. But this one we're going to put over there to dry. And you see how it's almost solid blue everywhere. And then there's a few drops. Okay, so let's put that over there. I'm just going to put it down, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a pot, and I'm just putting the pot on top of here. I'm putting the pot on top of it to dry, make it flat. Now let's do the mini pizza box. And we're going to do that one. See? Look how many drops came out. because I let it lay on its side. That's kind of cool because that's what I wanted to go for. Oops, sprayed it backwards. Make sure you're spraying it in the right direction. It just went over there. So much for having a tablecloth. There we go. And then if you want those little drops to come out, see what I do? It's not really a lot of pressure. It's more of like, I go like this. Here, watch. All right, let's make sure this is done though. I think it's done. It's good enough. Let me get this out of the way and then kind of show you how I get those little drops to come out with kind of, these are like happy accidents. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over here for a second. You go like this and you kind of don't pump all the way down. Right? Isn't that cool? And you don't pump all the way down and you get drops to come out. If you spray from far away, oops, I just smeared it, but that's okay because that part's in the front and I can put stuff over it. So that's how you get the little drops to come out, which kind of look cool. I'm just using it up, okay? I'm using up the rest of my spray so I can change to Cajun Craze. Da, da, da. You might as well use all your ink in there. So I can do 2 boxes with 1 sprayer. So now I'm going to put that over there. I'll put that down there and I'm going to just rinse out my spritzer here. So after you rinse it out with water, you want to fill it with water, right? And you want to get this color out of the chamber, you want to fill it with water and just sort of spray. You can't see it, but I'm just doing it off to the side of my sink there. It's okay, the little color gets stuck in there. So now we can dump out the water. Okay, I'm going to fill it with alcohol. I'm going to show you how I do a fall box. All right, we're gonna not fill it. We're going to do half alcohol again. And while I'm doing this, I can say hi to you guys. Why not? Because I'm able to do this. Okay, so I just wait for my hands on my pants. So who knows how much dye is on me. Hello, Yvonne. Hello, Lori. Hello, Kathy M. and Betty. I'm going up to the half again. Oops, put a little too much alcohol in it, but that's okay because I'm going to spray it out. So when you put too much alcohol, that's okay because you want to clean it out anyway. Clean out the water and any blue. So now it's a little extra, but that's okay because I'll just put an extra drop of Cajun Craze in there. So now I'm going to use some Cajun Craze. Okay, hi Roxanne from Colorado, and hello Nola, hello Donna, Raylene, Deborah, Katie, Jan from Florida, and Debbie J. She's driving home from work with headphones on. Oh my gosh, be careful on the road there, girlfriend. All right, cool. So now we're taking the Cajun Craze, and I'm going to add 10 drops of that. Cajun Craze, why? It's a fall color. We're going to show you how to do a fall box. Hi, Patricia from Texas. 1. Come on, Cajun Craze. 2. Hello, Cheryl from Ohio. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And hello, Patty from Indiana. All right, and I had to tap that last one there. So now we got our Cajun Craze in there. Get in there. I'm just kind of getting it to go in there. So 10 drops, and really I should have went to like right above this, the Stampin' Up again. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna see how much, it's like really brown, but now we have a fall color, but I need to you need to shake it up first, but then you also need to spray it out. Wow, talk about thick ink, huh? I'm gonna spray it out over here to get the, okay, so good. Now I got the plain, see? What I did is I got the plain alcohol out of the chamber. So now Cajun Craze is coming out. Okay, so that's what I just did. Now let me grab the boxes. Now I want to show you a couple more tips and tricks. So I figured although a lot of you have a scan and cut, you weren't able to, like, maybe I'll do a separate scan and cut video where how you can just make yourself a little Mylar shield to cover your window boxes when you're trying to do spritzing, right? Or just to cut out a shape. Or maybe I will, but maybe I think you all know how to do this with your scan and cut. So you would put this in the machine and you'd cut out an exact window. But since this series is not based on the scan and cut, I would just do this. I'm just going to show you what I just did and the pros and cons of just using a sticky note. You're not going to get it exact, but you got to cover your window here so you don't get ink all over it, right? But the only problem with the sticky note is you're not going to get it like exact. And then there's going to be a couple pale parts. You can get it exact, but not in the 2 seconds it took me to make this. So my sticky note just wasn't wide enough, and it just wasn't exact. But you want to cover up this window. Okay? And then just like that, and let it stick on there. So that's what you need to do, protect it. But you're going to end up, if you don't cut it right, what ended up is a couple pale areas that didn't get spritzed. But that's okay because I put leaves on them, and I'll show you what I did with that. So let's make sure, okay, I think what's going on down there is there's lots of ink down there. So we can then flip my little, here, flip this around. So now I have nothing there. So okay, so what I'm going to do is put this one down. That is, we're going to do Cajun Craze. We're going to make a fall box. Again, get your sticky to be better, you know, than I did. Okay, but, or use a piece of Mylar that you cut with your Scan and Cut. Your idea is cover up that window. So now we're going to do a fall box. Oops, don't get, okay. And we're just going for like the fall look. Okay. And a couple drops came out, but that's okay. And my husband said you could actually make it look like blood too, and do kind of Halloweenish stuff like blood splatter, or you could like do black for Halloween. Okay, but those, leave some areas that aren't too sprayed. Let me just rinse my hands. The reason you want to leave a couple areas is because you want to be able to stamp right onto there. All right, let's bring this back. Bringing it over. I think I'm done in my sink now, and I can bring this up to show you. So right away before your little window dries, get that extra ink. See how it was pale right there. So what you want to do is get a little, I'm just going to get a piece of paper towel and make sure all the ink is off the window, because my sticky wasn't really covering up the window all the way. So there we go. So that's good. Now the window's completely protected, right? And it looks good. But now you have this little, pieces sticking out. So what I did with that, let me show you this first. Then we're going to get into the stamping part with the only one that's dry. So I can't stamp on this one because it's too wet. But I want to show you what I did to cover those windows. And then we'll get back into the winter projects. All right, how am I going to do this without getting ink on my winter projects? All right, here we go. So here's one that's completed, or not completed, but I'll show in the next video. I'll show you them completed with the tag. So here's the fall version of the box, and what you do with any of those little pale areas that didn't get, or the areas that you maybe messed up your spraying on. What you're going to do is you're going to just put like little extra leaves that you die cut from the giving gifts dies. Okay. And you're going to take some different leaves, and there's some of these in your little trinket box. You have a few little leaves, and you just cover up any little areas you want to cover up. So in other words, this was a little pale, and that was a little pale, so I just put some leaves all around it. Okay? I made sure that the dimensionals weren't showing through on the back. So, like, in other words, my leaves that hang over, the dimensional was right behind them, and you can't see them hanging through the back. And I'll put a thankful tag on this one. And then I stamped in Cajun Craze and Cinnamon Cider. Okay? Cajun Craze, which is what I spritzed in. Cinnamon Cider, which is, so every other one. So like this, maybe two are Cajun Craze. Here, let's see. These two are Cajun Craze, and it was really inky. I didn't mean for it to be so inky. And then these two are Cinnamon Cider. Okay, so that's the fall box. All right, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, thank you, Patty. All right, so let's see. She's with Mike on that one. Yeah. Crime scene. So, yeah, my husband said it looks like blood splatter. But, yeah, it's kind of funny. But he said it would be cool for Halloween. So, but we missed Halloween. We didn't miss it, but you can do it for next year. And these boxes are in your kit. All right, now, Cheryl is working on her Scan and Cut projects now. Now, before I show you the winter projects, let's do, because I definitely have to, like, wash my hands a little before I show you the winter projects. Let's do a little stamping on the box that we just, not the one we just spritzed, okay? Just so you know, this isn't the one I just spritzed. Let it dry for 15, 20 minutes. Okay, but the one I just spritzed is under a pan. It's like actually under a pot. I mean, getting flat. Okay, so let's make sure there's nothing on my hands here. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to stamp onto this with the Time of Giving stamp set. So you're going to turn your box like this. Let's move some of the. Normally I'd put my little rubber thing under here, but I usually have a silicone mat that I put under there when I'm stamping. But we're not going with all that right now. We're just going to have to improvise. This is what my My stamps are still a little wet, but I just want to give you the idea. If I smear them, we're going to go for the more watercolor look. But to get the water off of your stamp, you can stamp onto some scrap paper first. So for stamping onto your box, I recommend, and let me just grab my scrap paper. It'll help me get the water off of my box. I mean, off my stamp. You know what I mean? When you use your scrap paper. I'm going to use Pacific Point because it looks better than Night of Navy. Night of Navy was like blah, blah, blah. Kind of looked like a, Night of Navy looked too black. So this one was like a really fun blue color. So even though we used Balmy Blue and Pool Party on the spritzer, we're not going to use them to stamp on because they're not dark enough. We're going to use the Pacific Point. Okay, see how there's a little bit of water in there still? Because I didn't really finish drying my stamp, and it kind of gives it that watercolor look, which is kind of cool. But now it seems to be dry. So to dry off the water, you just got to use it a few times, that's all. So now we're going to stamp onto the top of our box. Okay, and we're going to just maybe, okay, where we're going to put snowflakes in the opposite areas. So like there's a really cool area here. I'm going to stamp this up here, and I think this is a really cool blank area for embellishing. So I could put like a big snowflake there. So I think since I put one there, I'm going to put one down here. So like that. See how these are kind of like a corner stamp almost? I don't think we've used this stamp yet in the series, this particular stamp. Okay, so that's what I'm going for, something like that. Kind of framing in the top of the box. Okay, now let's move this just to clean it off, like, you know, so it doesn't get on anything. You can just use a piece of paper. Now we're going to take, you could do this one, but I'm not going to use this one right now because I wasn't feeling it. But you could take like these little snowflakes. But I think these snowflakes are better with the splatter. Okay, lastly, I think my hands are clean enough to just kind of show you my projects. But you want it, since this is pretty dry now, you're just gonna, I just want to show you how this is assembled. Let me show you the finished ones, but like maybe next video I'll show you more finished projects, because by next video I will have cleaner hands, and we will, at the beginning of the video, I can show you what we made in this video. So all you're doing is just kind of folding it, but not too rough. Just kind of folding it like that, right? And then you're going to pop out these little, there's these two little pieces of cardboard you're going to pop out. Yeah, isn't that a cool stamp, Cheryl? It's amazing. Like, this is the stamp set that really keeps on giving. We used it for Halloween so far. We can use it for Thanksgiving. We can use it for Halloween, Christmas, Thankful, any time of year. This is like an awesome stamp set. We haven't even used this one yet. We've used this. We've used everything but this one. I got to figure out how to use that one now. Probably maybe on my next, the project, not the next project, but the project after that. We'll do something maybe with Thanksgiving. Because I'm still trying to do the treat toppers. That's one of the things I have planned. Treat toppers for you guys. That would make a good little thank you treat topper. See how I'm doing it? I'm not pushing down to like, I'm not bending this all the way over like this. Because then you start getting the crease, and you start, like I did that before when my box wasn't dry enough. And I ended up like getting the white part of the box, and it didn't look real good. So I'm just trying to fold it nicely without folding it too roughly. Too rough. Is that roughly a word? Okay, so there we go. So there I'm going to push these on the side. These little flaps, I'm going to push them in. And then you're going to hear a clicking noise. Hear the clicking noise? These are mini paper pumpkin boxes. Available now at my Stampin' Up store. Mini paper pumpkin boxes. You have them in your kit. If you bought the gift giving kit. And the mini pizza box was something I just gave you as part of the kit, because I had them in my stash. I might put them in my next, I might put some mini pizza boxes in my next series as well, because I like to share my hoard of fun things in my kits. So there you go. So that's how you do it. Now you're going to then take your little tag, which I already have done, right? And you're going to put your little, you're going to ink around it. We're not doing that right now because I'm not bringing out the die cutting machine and all the stuff on this table already. I'm not whipping out the die cutting machine, but I'll show you the finished project. So you have your little tag, and you ink around the edges with your blending brush. We've talked about that, right? Blending brush. I've shown you how to use the blending brush in my videos. We'll use it next video. We'll use blending brush. Then I used some glittered organdy ribbon, and I took my bucket of crafty goodness here, and I took snowflakes from many places. So these are called these stitched. These aren't from, okay, this one's not from this set, this snowflake. Here, let me show you what snowflake is. This snowflake, there's only one snowflake in here. It's this one snowflake, right? That's the only snowflake in this Time of Giving bundle. But I have this little thing called Trio of Tags, and I cut out a bunch of these snowflakes. It's a retired little thing, but this one's not retired. This one's called Stitched Snowflakes, Stitched Snowflakes dies. So in my bucket of crafty goodness, I used some stitched snowflakes, and then I found some, or not found, but these are ones I'm leaving here. This one, like these are the ones from the Time of Giving bundle. And then I made some extra little tags to stamp onto. Okay, now I'm ready to show you the finished projects. So here's a Boo from before, inked around. Here's some Mary. So, and there's extra leaves that I told you about. I said cut out extra leaves, you know, for later. I think I'm gonna put an acorn on one of my boxes. So definitely get yourself a bucket of crafty goodness, and then you can make projects easier because you'll have all your stuff ready. All right, so let me make sure that I move all this ink because I do not want to get these projects all messed up. The ones I'm about to show you, so I have to look around for any unopened ink. All right, good. So now you know how to do it. So we're going to just show you the finished projects. Roughly is a word now because I said it. Thank you, Cheryl. Barbara from Oklahoma, hello. Hello, Judy. I came wrong place and I spot like those boxes. You come to the wrong place, Patricia. You're in the right place. Whenever we're crafting, just come join us. All right, so here's what I did. I'm going to show you my first one that I didn't like as much. And because for several reasons. I used Pool Party only. Maybe I did like 10 drops of Pool Party and then I used 2 drops of Balmy Blue. It's not that I don't like it, I just don't like it as much as the Balmy Blue. Okay, so what happened is also when I started stamping with this stamp for the first time, or these little drops, it started giving me an edge effect. So like I pushed down and then I went like this, and I got these little like edges of the stamp, which I hate when that happens, and you get the edges of your stamp on. So I was trying to cover up a lot of mistakes on this one. That's why there's so many snowflakes on here. Smear, smudge, mess up. That's why there's all these gems on here. These are called the garden gems. Just got those gems. Okay. So, but I like it other than that. I mean, it's just that a few things. I folded the box too early. See, I told you if you fold the box too early when it's not dry, this you're going to get the inner part showing. So anyway, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty cool. Pool Party's pretty cool, but just not as cool as Balmy Blue. This is glittered organdy ribbon, bunch of snowflakes. Okay, now I'll show you the two I like better. So then I kept on experimenting, and I went for, you know, the Balmy Blue look, and I liked it much better. And with the stitched snowflake there, and the snowflake from the Giving Gifts dies, and an extra snowflake from my Trio of Tags dies, glittered organdy ribbon. I liked how the glittered organdy ribbon fit around there, and the little Mary tag. So this was my next attempt, and that one was good. And then I did a really festive attempt with another mini pizza box. So this is the festive attempt, and again, it has so many snowflakes on it because I was going for like, oh, a smear, a smudge, or I want to cover a big dot, splash, whatever. So that's why I glued the snowflakes on the way I did. So you like number 2 better. So Cheryl likes, yeah, so you guys like Pool Party or Balmy Blue better? This is Pool Party. This is, here's 2 side-by-side comparison. Pool Party, Balmy Blue. Balmy Blue, Pool Party. But look, when you do Pool Party, and the way I did it really close, it gave almost a solid box color, like you almost colored the whole box. Balmy Blue. Okay, Cheryl likes Balmy Blue. Hi, Julie. But if you get far away, it gives it a more splattered look. That's actually a good side-by-side comparison. Balmy Blue as well. Okay, so then if you're going to use Balmy Blue, though, you want to use the colors. So, like, because I used Balmy Blue in the back, just so you know, I then used the Balmy Blue die-cut snowflake. I was trying to coordinate so that the colors wouldn't really clash. And because I used Balmy Blue on here, I used the Balmy Blue snowflake. But this one, I didn't have any Pool Party snowflakes. So I just used a Balmy Blue snowflake and some silver. This is a silver foil kit. A silver, there's like a silver trio foil. There's 3 kinds of silver foil. Matte, shiny, and something else. So that's what I used to cut out these little snowflakes. Anyway, there are my projects for you. So I hope you enjoyed that. And now you know how to use your Stampin Spritzer, which you can get in a pack of 2. You only really just need 1 spritzer, the one I gave you, because honestly, you just keep washing it out and using it again and again and again and again. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Roxanne. All right, we will see you in the next video where I'm going to be showing you how to, and I don't have it with me because I didn't want to bring my boxes over to get messed up, but we're gonna make a snowflake box with a window, and then that would be part 7, and I'm gonna show you what's inside these boxes here, and we'll go from there. Thank you all for watching. This is the Papered Chef.